Here is Newmyer-Olsen being sworn in by Michael Gonzalez. Michael Gonzalez is right here with his hand up, swearing in Crista. Crista Newmyer-Olsen. Crista Newmyer-Olsen. Now I'm going to read a little bit of this judicial performance evaluation right here while keeping her picture up. So, the 12th Judicial District Commission on Judicial Performance finds the Honorable Crista Newmyer-Olsen meets the performance standards. All 7 members of the commission voted to approve of her standards, and they had the standards are performance standards in the categories of integrity, legal knowledge, communication skills, judicial temperament, administrative performance, and service to the legal profession and the public. Now, if you only read the evaluations, you have no idea what kind of judge this person is. All these evaluations give overly glowing, wonderful, incredible, great feedback. They almost seems like they kiss the judges' asses. There's very few. It's unanimous most of the time, like all 11, all 7 members, all of them, not one single one. Now, sometimes you'll get the surveys that come back and you'll have like 7% or 20% or something that don't like them. They pass the standards, but we don't even have anything like that. So really we have no idea. Let's see. The commission met with Judge Newmyer-Olsen. Crista observed her in many different court hearings, reviewed her work since being appointed to the bench 2019, assessed feedback from attorneys and non-attorneys alike. Case management, communication, diligence, demeanor, work ethic, compassion for all people, time management skills, passion for justice. Commission members observe these qualities. Based on these findings, they meet, unanimously agree, significantly. We'll come back, okay? So, Judge Crista Newmyer, she was the DA. She was appointed the DA for 4 years or something before Robert Willett. So here's a better picture, or just a picture of her. Here's one in color. Okay, Crista Newmyer-Olsen. All right. So Crista Newmyer-Olsen, she was the DA. She was the DA for a minute, and then she got bumped up to, I guess when Robert Willett was appointed, then she got bumped up to judge. And so now we are asking, whether or not she's been a good judge. She's been a judge for the District Court of the 12th Judicial District. I'm not sure which district court, all of them. Does she do all the district? Does she go to all the different counties? I've been in front of the district court and just in front of Michael Gonzalez. I don't know if they each have like their main areas. There's like 5 district court judges. I should get the names of all those out. But I thought each one of them, there's like a county judge. Each county has a judge. I don't know. But what I want to mention here is there was an Antonito shooting. When she was the district attorney for the San Luis Valley, Crista Newmyer-Olsen, you had Gallegos. Felix Gallegos is going to shoot and kill a guy for being in his hamburger stand. Now, there was one bullet hole in the front, but one bullet hole in the back. And we never got a jury trial. And why didn't we get a jury trial? Well, because Crista Newmyer-Olsen, she buried the charges. They buried the indictment of the grand jury, if there was even a grand jury indictment. And the reason why she did not charge Felix Gallegos for shooting and killing another person, he said he did it in self-defense. Apparently, the guy runs out shouting he was going to kill Felix Gallegos. I'm not sure if I believe that. Felix goes in, he hears the alarm from his house, drives to the hamburger stand and says, I called the police, stay in there. And the guy doesn't stay in there. He runs out. I don't feel like the guy would have ran out and ran to him, but maybe he would have. Maybe he was running straight to him. But we don't have a jury of our peers. The whole idea of a system is, what does the jury think? Yeah, don't hit, don't steal, don't rape, and don't murder. But then, there's a lot of people in Costilla County that's allowed to do a whole bunch of crimes. Tecumseh was murdered. I don't know if it was when she was the DA or Robert Willett. 2 months or 3 months later, I'm going to, turn in the complaint to Robert Willett. And I have to do it from my house, and I got to do it by mail because if I drive all the way to Alamosa, Well, that gives the damn fucking thieves a lot of time to do whatever they want. So, you have this shooting. Felix Gallegos shoots and kills this guy that he says, was robbing him, and that he burst out the door saying he was going to kill him. A part of me feels like if you're running out the door, the guy's got, a gun on you and the cops are being called, it doesn't seem like it'd be smart to run after it. It doesn't seem like it's smart to rob people either. It just seems like it'd be smarter to run out the door and away from danger, out the door and away from the gun. Because if he runs out the door and away from the gun, then if you shoot somebody in the back, isn't that, there's some questions, and there's a dead body. It's just crazy. I've had to appear to court over 12 times for firing a couple warning shots. Nobody died. No dogs were injured. There was a felony that happened to me where there was blood everywhere. Dog was dead, murdered. They snapped his neck. And they thought it was hilarious. And they laughed about it. And they're still covering it up today. That's under, Crista and Robert Willett when they were the DAs. Now, Crista Newmyer-Olsen, she said, under Colorado law, there's simply no duty to retreat when one is not the initial aggressor. So if I'm peacefully walking my dogs in my backyard and this big rig is driving past my house and they're acting like they're going to do something to me, jerking their wheels, laughing like they're going to run up into my yard, well, that big rig would be the initial aggressor. I'm just peacefully walking my dog. I didn't drive to his house to felony menace him. I was protecting myself and I was enforcing a police action. I was protecting my home person and property, just like Article 2, Section 13 said I had a right to do. I was also doing what Old Man Vigil did, which is really what everybody should do to some fucking... So Crista Newmyer-Olsen, she says that Gallegos' actions meets all the requirements of the affirmative defense. So they're saying he self-defense. Nope, he had self-defense, and they did all the ballistics and studied this and studied that. And we never got a jury trial. Talk about needing a jury trial. We need to have jury trial for all the major things that happen. Like, why would that not go to a jury trial? There's a dead body. I fired a couple warning shots and I got, arrested and I got charged and I had to go to fucking court and I had to read all the fucking laws But Felix Gallegos murders a guy and he didn't have to go to court not one fucking time. He didn't even have a charge. He didn't get arrested. He didn't have $5,000 bond. No one took his guns. He got to just sit right there with all his guns, all his money, all his freedom, and didn't even have to answer for any of the damn charges. Didn't have to answer to anybody. I guess God, but there is no God, so he had to answer to nobody. So that's the Crista Newmyer-Olsen standard. When I compared her standard, to other people's standards, if I fire, if he fired warning shots, so Felix Gallegos goes there and says, okay, I've called the police, stay right where you're at. And the guy acts like he's about to run, and instead of Felix Gallegos shooting and kill him, he fires a couple warning shots. Hey! Instead of Felix Gallegos shooting and killing the guy, what if he would have fired a couple warning shots? Somebody would still be alive. But you're telling me that instead of shooting warning shots, it's better to... Is that what you're trying to say? Because that's what you're kind of implying. Don't shoot warning shots. Just straight up slay a person. And then there's, $1 million jails, $1 million cops, $1 million DAs, $1 million judges. It's $1 billion system. And we don't get a penny's worth of justice? $1 billion system and there's no jury trial whatsoever. None of the regular people looked at the situation. Nobody had to convince regular people that was A-okay.